Ken Jennings accidentally let a curse slip and spoiled a clue, and the goof-up made it to air unedited. Since he took over as the host of Jeopardy, Ken Jennings has done an incredible job of taking one of America's most iconic game shows to new heights. However, even with all his experience as both a contestant and a host, Jennings isn't immune to mistakes. This was evident during the 2022 Tournament of Champions, when he accidentally gave away an answer while bragging about his winning streak. To make it more memorable, Jennings even let out a curse word on the family-friendly show. During the tournament, the show paused for a special exhibition game featuring three of its top champions, Amy Schneider, Matt Amodio, and Matej Roach, offering viewers a bit of fun amid the competition. While the game was going smoothly, Jennings slipped up while explaining the significance of the category to the players. The host was breaking down the category number, please, which featured the winning streaks of the three players as the answers. After he read the clue and Schneider answered the question, Jennings forgot that he had one more clue remaining in the category. I don't know if you noticed, but the numbers in that category are 40, 23, 38, and 74, which is larger than all of them, he blabbered on before someone off-camera signaled him to stop. OST, Jennings blurted out, making a grimacing face, before quickly asking the players to do it all again. Amodio then took advantage of the situation and buzzed in to get the very next question. Since Jennings had already blurted out the number 40, the only remaining possible answer, Amodio responded with a sly smile, "What is 40?" and effortlessly won $400 from the round with a coy smile. While the show doesn't usually feature curse words, the fun moment was shared as is on air and bleeped out on social media. As the clip went viral, fans went berserk, reacting to the rare goof-up. "I busted a gut at this moment, truly the greatest Jeopardy humor that never meant to happen," wrote one fan on the YouTube Shorts clip. Later on the official Inside Jeopardy podcast, the producers of the show discussed how they reacted to the unique moment on the show and why they chose to keep it as it was, live on air. "One thing we learned from the great exhibition, yes, Ken Jennings swears," longtime producer Sarah Foss said in the podcast. She explained that they couldn't feasibly edit out the curse because the reaction spilled over into the moment, which had already been spoiled. "We couldn't edit it out, but it was such a genuine moment you could hear all of us yelling from the judges' table, 'No! No!'" she recalled, according to The Sun. She added that it ended up being a great moment for the show anyway because it showed that everything wasn't just about winning, but also about having a little fun on set. For a show built on precision, poise, and the quiet tension of a ticking game board, Jeopardy! Rarely strays into chaotic territory. So when longtime champion-turned-host Ken Jennings accidentally blurted out an answer, and then let slip a very un-Jeopardy-like curse word, the studio audience gasped, the contestants froze, and social media exploded within minutes. It was the kind of moment fans will be replaying for years, a blunder so unexpected that even Jennings himself couldn't believe it happened. It all unfolded during Monday night's syndicated episode, a game that had already been unusually fast-paced. Contestants were buzzing in aggressively, categories were falling quickly, and Jennings seemed particularly energized, tossing in jokes and bantering with the players. But halfway into Double Jeopardy, everything changed when a clue in the category Classic American Speeches led to one of the strangest moments in recent Jeopardy history. The $1,600 clue read, "This president famously declared that the only thing we have to fear is." Jennings, flipping his card, attempted to read the rest but glanced too quickly at the answer below. Before he could stop himself, he muttered, "Oh, crap, fear itself." As soon as the words left his mouth, the contestants stared at him in disbelief. One even dropped their buzzer. Jennings blanked, realizing instantly what he had done, and then, in a moment that will surely go down in blooper reel infamy, whispered a shocked, "Damn it." The studio fell silent. Jennings slapped a hand over his mouth as if he could shove the words back in. But it was too late, the audience had heard the answer in the curse. In the control room, producers scrambled. Cameras shifted. The players exchanged stunned expressions. And Jennings stood there, red-faced and speechless, knowing he had just violated the #1 rule of hosting, don't spoil the clue. A beat passed before he finally said, "Well, that's not how this works." He forced a laugh, but even he looked rattled. "Contestants, we'll handle scoring with our judges. Sorry about that." The audience broke into gentle laughter, softening the tension, but you could still see the embarrassment radiating off the host. For someone known for his sharpness, quick wit, and encyclopedic control of the Jeopardy! Board, this was the kind of slip that felt almost unreal. The judges conferred for nearly a minute, and the show briefly cut to a wide shot as Jennings tried to fill the time with a self-deprecating monologue. "I promise I'm usually better at this," he said. 40 wins as a contestant, 0 wins as a host when it comes to not giving away answers. It was classic Ken, humorous, honest, and a little flustered. But the gaffe still caused a scoring nightmare. The judges ultimately ruled the clue had to be thrown out entirely, resetting the game's balance. The contestant who had been leading by a mere $800 looked visibly frustrated, muttering "wow" under her breath. During the post-segment break, producers approached Jennings at the lectern. He leaned forward, rubbing his forehead, clearly mortified. A boom mic overhead caught him joking to a stagehand, "If Alex were watching, he'd be rolling his eyes so hard right now." Even shaken, he couldn't resist honoring the late, legendary host. When the show resumed, Jennings addressed the audience directly. "Live TV," he said, shrugging. "Or as close as we get to it. Sometimes things slip." He paused just long enough that fans later speculated he almost cursed again. "Let's just move on before I make things worse." The rest of the game continued without incident, but every player seemed a little more careful, a little more amused, and maybe a touch grateful that, for once, the host, not the contestants, had made the night's biggest blunder. Fans react instantly. Within minutes of the episode airing, clips went viral on social media. On X, formerly Twitter, hashtags like #KenJenningsOops, #JeopardyFail, and #FearItselfGate began trending. One viewer posted, "Ken Jennings just did the one thing a Jeopardy host can't do and then cursed about it. I haven't laughed this hard at the show in years." Another joked, "Ken accidentally leaked the answer like a contestant on Final Jeopardy panicking at the podium." Even celebrities weighed in. A famous comedian tweeted, "Give that man a mulligan. I'd slip too if I had to pronounce half those categories." The overwhelming reaction was humorous rather than critical. Viewers seemed to adore the rare glimpse of the normally polished host being adorably human. Some called the moment iconic. Others begged the show to leave the clip in reruns and not edit it out. A few longtime fans noted that Alex Trebek, despite his legendary composure, had a share of slip-ups too, even if none involved accidentally cursing mid-clue. Behind the scenes, how the show handled it. Sources at the studio later revealed that producers debated cutting the moment entirely. But ultimately, because the error impacted scoring, they needed to show the judges' ruling for transparency. Jennings reportedly apologized multiple times to the crew and contestants after filming ended. He was beating himself up, a staffer said. But everyone reminded him he's human. And honestly, the audience loved it. Contestants from the episode also shared their reactions online. One wrote, "Ken was so kind backstage. You could tell he felt terrible, but we all thought it was hilarious. It actually made the experience even more memorable." Another added, "I was trying so hard not to laugh when he said damn it." Why the moment matters. Jeopardy thrives on structure and rules. A host revealing an answer, and then cursing, is extraordinarily rare. But it also highlights why Jennings has been embraced as Trebek's successor. He's smart, relatable, and not afraid to poke fun at himself. This slip-up may even solidify fans' affection for him. It showed vulnerability and authenticity in a job that requires near perfection. And in a world of tightly controlled TV moments, one genuine mistake turned into the highlight of the season. It also sparked a small but spirited debate among viewers. Should game shows allow more natural moments? Is imperfection part of the charm? Many argued yes. Jennings speaks out after the episode. The morning after the episode aired, Jennings acknowledged the moment online, posting a short message. "Sometimes you fear yourself. Who knew?" The comment immediately racked up likes. Fans applauded him for embracing the chaos with humor, proving once again why he has become the face of modern Jeopardy.